All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about my kitchen lighting design theory and also a little bit of, I guess, technical information regarding how I placed the light fixtures and some of the things that you might run across when it comes to trying to place things like under cabinet lights and, things at other levels other than the ceiling. A lot of times the light fixtures that you get, even the ones you download, are going to mount to the ceiling. They're basically set to mount 8 foot high. And you have to adjust them from there. Now, some of them are not adjustable. Some of the fixtures that you get cannot be adjusted. But ones that are considered parabolic, which means they can be adjusted, not only the light fixture itself can be modified, but also its height, its elevation, things like that can also be modified. So I'm going to kind of show you what I have here. Now, I told you earlier that I was going to do some under cabinet lighting. So I did. I found these, what they call puck lights that I found on Revit City, and they fit perfectly right up under the cabinets. They're actually even modeled for that to be their base level. I'll kind of go in and take a look at it and show you. So here is one of those puck lights, and if I click on that, I'll even show you right here. It's called an under cabinet light puck type 6053. So you can look that up on Revit City if you want to find that particular light fixture. But it places them perfectly right under where a wall cabinet would, the bottom of the wall cabinet would be elevated. Okay, now I also placed some of these under the shelves. However, you can see how it, placed at the same level that this one did. So because this one is adjustable, I can actually move it up really easy. Okay, and put it right there. And I've actually got another one over here behind the refrigerator. All right, so that's one of the things you might run across, and you would have to adjust those light fixtures separately to get those in the place that you want them. You might get some really nice lights that you want to put under your cabinets or under your shelves that, they might mount to the floor. Okay, so you'll have to, play with it and figure out how to get it up to the cabinet, which typically, like these, all I had to do is move it, and that's it. But some of them, depending on how they were modeled, are, pretty much stuck there for good. And some of the other things you can do as well is kind of play with the elevations right in here. Adjusting the elevation. So this one is now 10 foot off of the floor. And this one, of course, shows at 0, level. Now, why that's such a difference, I really don't know. I just moved it up there myself, and then that's what it came out to be, is it registered over here. So there may be some components of it that aren't actually modeled correctly, but it works. It goes where I need it to go. Secondly, is I have these pendant lights that I want to go over my bar. This is the kitchen bar, the breakfast bar. And now they mounted right down here to the floor. If you have it set for level 1, elevation 0, it'll mount to the floor. Now, of course, my first thought was, okay, let me change it to 8 foot. So I changed it to 8 foot and then hit apply, and it mounts inside the ceiling. Okay, and I actually know that there is a Revit light fixture that does the same thing, but you cannot adjust it. This one you can. All you have to do, once you set it to 8 foot, or you can just even manually move it up here if you want to, and just bring it right down to that location, and it's attached to the ceiling. So I've got one more right here, and I'll just move this one. I won't type in 8 feet. I'll just move it and make it even with the other two. Okay. Sometimes you have to get a little closer. Okay, so those light fixtures are done. Okay, the only other light fixtures I put this one light fixture in here, and it is going to have 4 lamps, although the one in Schoology, not Schoology, but the fixture in Revit is only a 2 lamp. I need it to have 4 lamps. In order because I want this to provide enough light by itself without any of these other lights. So I want this to be kind of an option. Now my under cabinet lights are going to be probably about 40 watts a piece. These right here aren't going to be very bright. They're going to be kind of a yellowish, antique-ish type of light, and they're probably going to be about 40 watts a piece. These will be dimmable. Under the cabinet will not be. This is not, of course, because it is fluorescent. But the one in Revit only has 2 lamps. I wanted to have 4 lamps, but there is a way that you can edit that. Is just click on Edit Type, and we'll duplicate that. And we'll just change this to 4. Now, after you do that, I mean, you're really good to go. I mean, there are some electrical things in here that you'd want to change, but we're not going to get into that at this point. You'll learn more about that later on in your career of how to do that. And sometimes you may not even need that unless you're doing, electrical design all the time. Okay, so we're going to click OK. And now I have a 4-lamp fixture. And then, of course, there was one placed here, which I just copied there to just to add a little bit more security for someone walking through this area, maybe late at night. They come in, they can actually turn this light on, and I'm going to string these 2 lights together, and they can turn those on. And, of course, at nighttime, you really don't want a whole lot of light anyway. It's kind of blinding. So that would probably be adequate lighting for someone to come into a kind of darkened kitchen and get some water or whatever it is else that they need. Of course, alignments are always important, such as this light fixture here. I wanted to get it kind of centered right in between this area. And of course, it may not be perfectly centered. I can make it perfectly centered by doing something like this. Okay, and then hitting the equal button, and then that centers that light fixture right there between that room divider and then the wall right here. I can actually come down here to this one that's in this passage area and do the same thing. And then now that's centered perfectly. Now these dimensioning lines right here, you can actually you can delete them, and the only thing is that your light fixture can be moved after you delete them, but it's not going to move them if you do delete them. So I can hit the right here, delete, and it just tells me that there's a constraint that if I delete this dimension line, that constraint's no longer going to be there. So I can just hit unconstrained. It's going to stay right there, but it is possible to move it now. Or I could simply also, if I'd want to make sure that it doesn't get moved or bumped out of the way with any other modeling that I do, then I can click on it. I can right click and just hide that dimension line in view, like so. Okay. So, of course, you don't want all those positioning lines like that. You don't want them showing up all over your drawing anyway. So, all right. So that is how I think my way through that. Kind of picked up a little bit of my theory there, and also showed you how to adjust some of the elevations of the light fixtures, and all is good. So good luck with this assignment.